Hey everybody. Okay, end of the day, done with work, and Brian, he wanted to hear the toms, and I've got the UV2s on everything now except for the snare. But I have an EQ3, ported EQ3 is the reso on the bass drum. I got a brand new EMAD, single ply EMAD this time. I usually go for 2-ply, but with the single ply with a patch and with the muffling rings, you can accomplish the same sound that you're going to get out of 2, in my opinion. It's just maybe the longevity won't last as long because it's single ply and you're beating against a single ply. But I have a hard plastic beater side on my Speed Cobra right now. And I just put the, impact patch on where it's hitting. And I've been blasting into this thing and there's no dent. There's not even a dent in it. And it has one of the thinnest muffling rings in it right now, which gives great tone. I think it gives fantastic tone. Here, let me put it on the projection side. Also, this is kind of a test, guys, because I just put the UVs on there. So you can see the EQ3. The EQ3 looks pretty good, and that way I can get my 91A microphone in there. I just laid a Evans EQ pillow in there, and because I have an 18-inch deep drum, the pillow's not long enough to sit on each head, so I just put it kind of closer to the batter and touching the batter just a little bit, so it'll bounce off the batter every time you hit it. But really what I have it in there for is to hold the Shure Beta 91A boundary mic, because it's a flat panel mic that has like 3 facets on it, but it's like a square basically, and it needs to rest on something so it's not like vibrating against the wood or against the shell when you have that happening in your bass drum. So what I do is I just stick it in there, I kind of put it right in the middle, and then I just lay that microphone right on there, and then put another instrument mic. Currently I'm using a KSM 141 as my second kick mic, and I have another KSM 141 as my snare mic. So the kick and snare, and then my overheads are these Rode NT5s. But as far as having, and plus I've got this, the Yamaha EAD. My goodness, does it put out a huge amount of sound. I mean, this thing is like worth its weight in gold. I can't even express how much. Practicing, playing the songs, you can do all sorts of effects if you want to. You can turn your drum set into an electric drum set. You can add reverb. You can, mic yourself through PA systems so your drums sound 50 times louder and bigger than they already are. You can use them for your own practice. I mean, anyway, it's basically a pair of stereo condenser microphones. So there's an X and Y, so they're crossed, and they're customizable, and then, it just sits on your bass drum boot. And to me, that's got a great, nice, and that's with the external muffling on. It has that great, nice tone, dun, 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 dun. So it's got that nice tune, which is what I'm looking for, is even when I want just kind of a dead attack and punch, but not, a lot of sustain or ring or anything like that, then using the thinnest or even the thickest if you really are just going for straight slap, the attack of the beater hitting the head. Okay, now this is wide open. My goodness. You hear how thunderous and wow. Yeah, I'm happy boy. But yeah, the EQ3 with the EMAD single ply, and I've always used EMAD too, so I'm not knocking knocking EMAD 2s by any means. This is one of my first EMAD 1s that I'm putting on a new kit, but it works great. And then you have all these options of how you can muffle, and then once you have a port in here, then you can stick, you know, towels in, pillows. You can get your microphones just positioned as you like. So, and plus sound guys will love you. Like if you ever, you know, hopefully when gigs come back, they'll love you because you have a port there that can easily mic you up. And boy, do these bass drums sound huge. Okay, so as you go through one, let me make sure, yeah, snares are off on everything. I put my auxiliary snare over here. And I have it sound kind of wonky like that on purpose, just because I like to play kind of the rims and just do kind of weird things like... auxiliary, and then if I want to actually use it as snare, I'll turn both on and do kind of my ghosts on my auxiliary, and then when I'm accenting my 2 and 4s, hit both snares at the same time. Kind of like a... yeah, that kind of idea where you're just doing like... Goofing around, but just showing you how, you know, and man, this bass drum is just thunderous with, and it even has that Evans pillow inside of it, and it sounds like that. Now, I do have to warn you, we are amped right now, okay? So, obviously, yeah, I mean, anyone who's used to listening to this stuff will be able to tell immediately that the EAD, but none of these extra microphones are coming through. It's just the EAD is what's picking up, and the EAD is just plugged into the bass amp. So that's why you're hearing that extra low frequencies and that. But still, I can just feel from this side, and I can just feel, you know, I feel this bass drum's just got so much power to it. So I'm going to keep letting these heads stretch for a bit. The great thing with Evans too is like they already come kind of pre-stretched, and like, you know, the glue and stuff they use, like it doesn't crack so much as Remo does. Like, yeah, people swear by Remos and stuff, and some of them, they're really great. And if you like a lot of sensitivity, or, you know, you've just used them a lot and they're what's around and what's easily accessible, great. But I'm a fan of Evans just because of they're made by Diodario, which is a string company that's been around forever. They have the newest factories, the newest machinery, and their 360 technology. And with these UV2s, I couldn't believe how true these heads, they were like perfectly round. Where like they just spun like a hula hoop on top of my head. So not only does that mean that the bearing edges are good on this, but the heads were so, and every single one of them were perfectly true, which made tuning a breeze. Tuning was way faster with these than they were with the G2s. So anyway, yeah, they're expensive. They're $20 a head, but I've been smacking these things as hard as I can for a couple hours off and on today, and I don't see any stick marks. I literally don't see any stick marks. My G2s, they have stick marks by now. So, man, yeah. And I have an Evans Genera HD on. I have just a little bit of stick marks, but not many. And this has an Evans G1 coated, and there's stick marks all over it. So because they don't use the actual spray-on coating, and it's part of the head, the UV treatment, whatever it is, it's just that it's actually a part of the head rather than it being like, sprayed on and glued, that kind of thing. But anyway, my point being, if I can get Evans heads, I'm going to go for Evans over Remo. Remo, I do like their Hazy 300s for your snares. So that's kind of a different story, but for snare rezos, the 300 mil, the Hazy 300s, those are phenomenal for snares. If I can't find those, then I usually just get an Evans 300. And Evans are usually clear. So, clear versus hazy does make a little bit of a difference. But it's still a 300 mil, and it's still a snare size. So it's really just to get the, snap of your snares. It's not really meant to give you like a lot of tone and, But see, I'm playing with a brass snare, so it's going to have a lot of ring and a lot of overtones. Yeah. What do you think about that? The floor toms, pretty beefy, huh? Yeah, I think they're really close. They're not all the way there yet, but I just put the heads on today and they've still been stretching too, so they still got one more round of tuning to go. But the tuning with these is so easy, like so easy.